It's that time again, folks. It's time for the original Dragon Talk Radio. I'm your host, John Clement. Are you ready? Let's do this thing. Welcome back to the original Dragon Talk Radio. We're up to episode 2 of volume 4 here. Yesterday, we kind of introduced this volume 4 idea and what we're doing with this particular iteration of the original Dragon Talk Radio. We are looking for the world's new Walt Disney's, Steven Spielberg's, Stan Lee's, George Lucas's, Jim Henson's. We are looking for those people out there who are going to take up the mantle of pop culture entertainment and take it in a positive direction. So, since I aspire to be one of those people, we're going to plug our Smurdiverse Entertainment product of the day. Link will be down below. And that is Smurd's Book of Shapes and Colors, which is a kid's book because we do entertainment at all levels here. And it is the follow-up to the one we mentioned yesterday, Smurd's Book of ABCs. So Smurd is a tiny little dragon. He kind of wound up being the flagship character of Smurdiverse Entertainment, but that's another story for another time. I'm doing my best because, if you may have noticed yesterday, or if you're just, my friend in general, you've met me before, you know that there could kind of be a tendency once in a while for John to ramble, so I'm being disciplined, and I'm keeping things to one main topic per episode. And then it'll be easy when I have guests, because I just make it more about the guests than me. But today, our topic is going to be more gaming related. But to quickly plug the product of the day, Smurd is a little purple pocket dragon, and he wound up being the flagship character of our little company here. Got named after him, Smurdiverse Entertainment. He's fun. We'll probably talk about him more sometime, or how his books came out sometime. But today's topic is more gaming related. So tonight in the Game Shop's Basement Discord server, we are doing the Wednesday Warriors group, and they are playing OSR, Dungeons and Dragons, old school rules, or old school Renaissance. Sometimes that R is supposed to stand for Renaissance. But old school Renaissance, old school rules, Dungeons and Dragons. They are paid games. The Game Shop's Basement is professional DMing. I've been DMing since 1982. So this is I was 11 years old. I'm 53 now in 2024. So I've been DMing for a minute. I've DM'd a few games. And in 2020, during the COVID times, I saw an advertisement, on my Android phone. Google pops up these news articles because the big brother Google algorithm is watching, and so it thinks it knows what you're going to click on or tap on if it's your phone. Don't really use a mouse with your phone and click, do you? But thinks it knows what you're interested in. And so there was this grandiose headline about this lady who made buku dollars. I don't remember the exact amount anymore, but don't have a number for you for the story, but buku dollars, playing Dungeons and Dragons online every day. And of course I'm going to tap on that article. I read the article, and I decided that if this was a thing, and it clearly was, then I needed a way into it. At that point, I was 49, and I'd been playing D&D since I was 11, and I was kind of jealous. At that point, Matt Mercer, with Critical Role and everything, was definitely in his heyday. Now, I say he was in his heyday. That doesn't mean he's gone now. That doesn't mean he's old news now. It just means things are different now. It's been very interesting to watch what's been happening with Critical Role and Matt Mercer since, Critical Role has kind of left WotC and Dungeons and Dragons and gotten into Daggerheart. And so if you are following that at all, you're a fan of that at all, we can definitely talk about that some other day. But we want to stick to the topic of how the Game Shop's Basement gaming got going. So I was really, really kind of jealous of these young whippersnappers like Matt Mercer and stuff. And I thought, I did the math, and it's like, yeah, I've been DMing since before he was born. And I talked to another D&D type YouTuber a couple of years ago, Condor DM. So if you're listening, hi Condor. And he and I are about the same age, started DMing at about the same time, and he was describing his career and saying that he had DM'd for thousands upon thousands of people and DM'd thousands upon thousands of games. And I realized, I did the math, and oh my goodness, that's true. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of DMing. That's a lot of D&D and other role-playing games. But so I kind of decided that, at that point I was 49 in 2020, and I'm like, COVID had kind of impacted people's jobs and the economy and everything. And I thought, there's got to be a way. People are making money at D&D. I should make money at D&D. And I really had a fire under my butt. And I just felt like I've got to find a way to do this. So I did. A good friend of mine, Eric Sullentrop, so if you're listening, hi Eric, he found a website called startplaying.games, and that's where I got my start. And I set up a game there, and actually a meet and greet, really. I set up a meet and greet, a free session 0, because I don't think that, I mean, it took a little while to get used to the idea that people would pay money to play D&D. Okay, because I mean, I'd been into it since 1982, and I was 11 years old, and went through. I was a 80s teenager, and I was a 90s college kid, and the whole idea that people should pay money for it was just weird. But I was pretty desperate. I needed it, and I thought, it was almost like a feeling of entitlement, except I wanted to earn it. I think the reason it wasn't a feeling of entitlement is because I wanted to earn it. I didn't feel like anybody should just give it to me. I thought, this is a thing. I know it's for me. I know I can do it. I need to find a way. So I was determined, absolutely determined that this was for me. So, and of course I was, full disclosure. I mean, yeah, I'll be real with you. I was jealous of Matt Mercer and those other young whippersnappers and stuff. So I went into, I set up a free session 0, because I just don't think, I wouldn't do it. I mean, I try to live my life and do my gaming table and be a game master, following Jesus' golden rule. I mean, run a table that you would appreciate, or that I would appreciate. Yeah, if I run a table that I would appreciate, and if I treat people the way I would appreciate being treated as players, that's my standard. And I thought, well, I would never want to. I mean, I'm picky. I have a very short list of people that I will let DM for me, and I figure other people deserve to be picky too. Other people are, I'm a gamer, I hang out with other gamers, so I know people are picky. I know people like a particular style of DM, and that's what they want. And so I thought, well, it's kind of enough of a big deal that society's reached the point where people are paying money for this now. But to pay money for it sight unseen, to not even know the DM, to not even have met the DM, I thought, no, we can't do that. So I set up these free session 0 meet and greets on startplaying.games. And for my first session 0 meet and greet, 4 people showed up, and 2 of them kind of said, nah, it doesn't sound like this is really for me. It doesn't sound like, the table you're building is really what I'm going to enjoy. But 2 people were like, let's do this. And 2 people, they signed up, and they were like long-term players. They don't still play these days, but they played for, one of them played for a matter of months, the other one played for a matter of years. And and that was just my very first day of doing this. I got 2 long-term players signed up out of 4. And I've done enough other businesses and things to realize that in the world of business, 50% retention is incredible. I thought 50% retention, hot diggity. Or 50% acceptance of my pitch. That's amazing. I've just got to keep going. It's a numbers game now, baby. And I didn't become rich or anything. I certainly didn't hit that figure from the original Google News article about, lady makes so many oodle billions of dollars a month or whatever. I never became rich or anything, but through the COVID years, I paid my bills. I would open up the fridge and I'm like, this food was paid for with gaming. I'd turn on the light switch and, the electricity in this wall was paid for with gaming. Or I'd go pay the rent when it came due every month to the landlord, and I'm like, yeah, this rent was paid for with gaming. It was wild because the whole idea that people would pay for gaming was just bizarro to me for a while. But the I still do it part time. Thank God the COVID times are over. And I do it part time. The demand, once, and those of us who were DMs that knew each other on startplaying.games and talked to each other and stuff, messaged each other, chatted with each other in Discord and stuff, we could tell, when COVID was really over, like all of a sudden the demand for paid DMing online just went through the floor. And it wasn't a bad thing. It meant that society was actually getting better. I mean, it sucked for our the type of life that we built around this financially. Yeah, it definitely sucked for that, but it meant that society was getting better, and the world was getting to be a much cooler, better place again. But so I still do this part time, and our server's called the Game Shop's Basement. There'll be a link down below. And I call it the Game Shop's Basement because I grew up gaming through my teenage years in the 80s and my college years in the 90s in the basement of a game shop in Warrensburg, Missouri. And that game shop was virtually open 24/7, 365. I mean, not quite, but virtually so. I mean, there were games that were starting at 3 o'clock in the morning and didn't end until after the sun came up. It was a very unique blend of like three different demographics of people who might not have been friends or known each other otherwise. We're all gamers, of course, but some of us, I wasn't, when I say us, I mean the collective group. Some of them, I guess, because that didn't include me, some of them were Whiteman Air Force Base folks from the military. And and some of them were townies. They were the people who lived in Warrensburg, Missouri, who would have been gamers anyway. Now, here's the one where I can say us. Some of us, we were kids going to the 4-year college there, which back then was CMSU, Central Missouri State University, and now it's changed the letters around. It's UCMO now, like University of Central Missouri, same college, whatever. Don't know why they did that, but so there were the college kids, the townies, and the military people, and we all just gamed in that basement. And I remember looking, it's just unlikely friendships that would strike up. I remember looking across the table one time, and I was kind of a squishy mage type character to D&D table, so my character was in the middle of the big group, kind of shielded and buffered from damage. But there were two tanks. We used to call them bricks. They're called tanks these days, but we called them bricks back in the 80s. And they were, one of them was like a Air Force guy with what we would call, I know it's more of a Marine term to say jarhead, but we'd call it more of a jarhead haircut. And the other guy was completely rebellious guy, blue hair, and so the blue-haired guy and the Whiteman Air Force Base guy, they were just having a great time together. Just a lot of male bonding. They're tanking together. They're dealing damage. They're taking hits. The group would be just wiped without them. Right there on the front lines. And they were just laughing and smiling, having a great time. And I remember thinking as a kid, like, these two guys would never have met and been friends if it wasn't for gaming, if it wasn't for D&D, if it wasn't for this place. And, so in order to recapture or in homage or to kind of get that feel of the Game Shop's Basement, that's what we call our server. We call our server the Game Shop's Basement. And link below at gameshopsbasement.com. We have a schedule of the games. Tonight is the Wednesday Warriors. And tonight, and there's details on the website about how to pay for games if you want to play, but hanging out is free. There have been many people in our community over the years never played one game. never paid for one game, but we dearly love them because they made us laugh. They had good jokes, hang out, just cool people to hang out with. And the same kind of thing happened at the Game Shop's basement. Not everybody played. Some people just hung out and were just really cool. Sometimes I call it like audience membering or whatever. But you are absolutely welcome to come by. Link below. But the Game Shop's basement is, I'm going, about 4 or 5 nights a week right now. There was a time during the COVID time when it was all my income. I would get up in the morning, eat breakfast, run a game, eat lunch, run a game, eat dinner, run a game, go to bed, get up, do the same thing again. I'd tell people what I was doing for a living, and they'd say, "Oh, you're living the dream." And, "Oh, yeah, sure, I'm all worn out and tired running, 15, 16 games a week." But, anyway, it was a thing. So today's topic here, we've talked about the Game Shop's basement and the games we've got going on. If you're interested in, right now we've got OSR D&D games. People are talking about doing Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory with pre-2024 lore. But we've done Star Wars with pre-Disney lore. We've done, Marvel Superheroes games. We've done Shadowrun games. And on Tuesdays we have Fallout, because Fallout is like the new hotness. So come by the server. There's usually somebody there to talk to you. And if not, see your comment later and we'll wave back. So the Game Shop's basement is live, online gaming, 4 or 5 nights a week. Come check us out. Tonight's game is we call Wednesday Warriors, and tomorrow we will start to get into some other things we do around here, and we'll start talking about guests that we've got lined up to talk about their projects and what they're doing. Yeah, check out our server. It's also the original DragonTalk discussion channel. All right. Well, I will see you the next time on the original DragonTalk Radio.